Hey YouTube, this is RoadDoc326 coming at you again with another G.I. Joe review. This time it will be not a Rise of Cobra figure, but a 25th anniversary figure. And I'm excited I got it. Just picked it up today at my not-so-local comic book shop. But, you know, I started collecting right towards the end of the 25th line, and I only managed to get 7 or 8 of them, and my nephew destroyed them all, so I just gave them to him, and now this is the only 25th I have that's not loose or destroyed in some way or missing an accessory whatsoever. But it is Sergeant Stalker, and I got him for $7.99. It's a little expensive, but not terrible. I'll bring up the box. There's his artwork. There he is. There's his name, Stalker. There's the price tag, Graham Cracker Comics. Well, it just says Graham Crackers, but it's a comic book shop. On the back side, we get the other people. Beachhead, Lady J, Buzzer, Serpentor, Cobra Trooper, Zartan, Shipwreck, Stalker, Cobra Red Ninja, Firefly, and then the little mystery pictures. Here's his file card. His real name's Lonzo Wilkinson. Primary military specialties in infantry. Secondaries a medic and interpreter. Birthplace is Detroit, Michigan, which just recently I found out was labeled the single worst place to live in the entire world. So now you know. And that's where you finish the joke off for me. Grade Z5, which is obviously a sergeant, and I'm not going to read his file card, but I'll put it back here in case you wanted to read it. Pause and read it. Alright. Now let's move the camera back up and put the box back there. We will bring in the figure. Here he is. I really do need a light. That'll probably be one of my next purchases, but there he is. He's got a pretty nice head sculpt. I'm pretty impressed with it. Sort of hard to tell, it's so dark. But all you get, nice view of all of them. Now here's a repaint of one of the tens of thousands of million Snake Eyes is out there. Also one from the 25th line. Just in case you wanted to know. Go over articulation first. It's the standard range. Really nice joints too. Nothing's loose at all. Head's got the 360. Arms got the 360. They go out and in. Elbows, 360 at the wrist. Legs move forward and back. Also, something I forgot to mention a second ago is that he did have a variant of this where his waist crotch region is wider. I got the thin one. I don't know which one's rarer or better, but I got the thin one. But I don't really care if that's the worst one or not. But double jointed knees, 360 on the foot, and does move down. So that's his articulation. Some things to go over that I like. I like the different paint color on the grenade instead of just painting it over as black. You can't take this chest piece off by unclicking the button. There are storage units here and here for his pistol and his knife. I don't really know what this is on his leg, but it's got semi-nice detail. It's a little different color, like a khaki color. It's kind of nice. I'll show you a stand. Just right here. Codename Sergeant Stalker. It's just the standard 25th stand, and he does stand very well on it. Let's see, oops. Not gonna come off. Alright. Next, obviously accessories. Get his arms and hands ready to hold them. He only has 3. We'll start with the worst one that I think is this pistol. He can't hold it in any hand. It's got too big of a finger guard or something. He can hold it all right like this, but as you can see, it's at a weird angle. And then his left hand, he can't get his finger in the finger guard, so he's just holding it up, and it looks It looks really oblong, and I don't like it. But you could technically live with that. That's not horrible, especially from like a front downward angle like this. It looks just fine. But the best part is it does have storage, which is right here. And you just push it in, and it fits very well. And then now we'll move on to a surprisingly good accessory, which is his knife. Now I think it's surprisingly good because, well, one, it does not fit very well into his right hand. It looks like it does, but really loose. But it does fit really well into his left hand, and it, like, surprisingly well. And it looks really good. Look at that. I was really impressed with that knife. I don't know why. But it is just a knife. There's nothing else to it. It does have a little sheath right here in his leg where you slide it in. There it is. Really nice. I love figures that have storage on them. Really good thing. I like it a lot. And the last thing he comes with is this little submachine gun, which I would call a grease gun. I'm not really sure, but it is an old submachine gun, which I would just call a grease gun out of safety. But it does fit in his hands pretty well. Not so much his left, because the trigger finger, it doesn't fit in the trigger, so he holds it really weird. But the right hand, he doesn't hold it that well, but you can get the finger in the trigger, and then there. Looks really good. So that's really all for him that I could think of. I'm happy to have him. I'd be happy to have any 25th at this point, though. It's nice to have a little cartoony-looking, screen-accurate toy from the cartoon or the comics instead of the Rise of Cobra figures, which it's not that they're bad. Well, some of them aren't great, but it's just that you want a figure that you remember from your childhood. It's got a certain uniqueness to you when you look at it and think, hey, I remember him from when I was a kid, watching him on TV, reading him in the comics. That's always nice. But without further ado, I'm going to end this review. Really like Stalker. I really liked all the 25ths. I know not too many people liked them, mainly because they were mostly just repaints, but I like them a lot. I think they did a good job, even if they are repaints. They're really good repaints. So if you haven't already picked them up, I would recommend picking them up by a Big Bad Toy Store. It's probably the only place I could think of, or, you know, some obscure spot like a comic book shop like I got mine. But this is Road.326, and I'll see y'all later.